Thank you, everybody, for being here. This is obviously really important to us. Cannot believe that we have to be here 21 years later, speaking out against a government that is trying to sports wash or whitewash their atrocities all over the world, speaking out against a former president who is making millions and millions of dollars, speaking out and educating America. We can't believe that we even have to be here today. My dad had every opportunity to get out of the building that day. He was on the 17th floor, and we spoke to him after both planes hit. We pleaded with him to get out of the buildings. He was below the impact zone. He was with a colleague in the lobby. And he turned to his colleague, and he noticed that the FDNY and NYPD were having a hard time communicating with each other. So he went back up to the 17th floor to grab radios to give to the FDNY, hopefully that they could communicate better to help save people. And moments later, the building fell on him, and we never recovered him. So when I think about that, and I hear thousands of other stories about true heroes that day, and I see these golfers dodge questions, put their head in the sand, not want to confront us, not want to address our issues, and just say golf is for the greater good, or I'm doing this for my family. Well, my dad went to work that day providing for his family, and he got blown away. And if we can't get a golfer to at least look us in the eye and tell us that they're doing it for the money and they don't give a shit about the atrocities of Saudi Arabia, they're cowards.
Thank you all for joining us this morning.
The president looked me in the eyes and said, yes, I'm going to help you, and I'm going to help the families. The next day, his administration then declared those same documents, these, state secrets, thus blocking the families from seeing what we now know as the facts regarding 12 senior Saudi government officials. I only spoke about 3 today. Further, on September 17th, 2016, while campaigning, the president, Mr. Trump, acknowledged the Saudi role in the attacks. He said, who blew up the World Trade Center? It wasn't the Iraqis, it was Saudi Arabia. He went on to say, let's open the documents. Finally, Mr. Trump, we now have the documents, thanks to President Biden. Simply, you lied to our face, and you've continued your bullshit comments as recently as yesterday in your ESPN interview. It's simple. The Saudis did it. They plotted it. They funded it, and now they're trying to distract every one of those sins with a golf tournament 50 miles away from ground zero. It's deplorable.
We're going to open it up to any questions, if any.
Hello, everyone. My name is Juliet Scauso, and I am the daughter of firefighter Dennis Scauso. My father, who worked for Hazardous Materials Company 1, perished alongside 18 other firefighters from his house in Maspeth, Queens. This was not only one of the hardest hit firehouses after 9/11, but in his house alone, over 50 children were left without fathers. A couple of weeks ago, I was conversing with a woman who stated, "Isn't 9/11 kind of old news?" Despite the fact that 9/11's motto is never forget, I have heard and experienced many iterations of this woman's callous belief throughout my life. However, contrary to her statement, I don't believe that the murder of 3,000 Americans and the ever-increasing death toll of thousands of injured and ill Americans should ever be considered old news. Yet here I am, over 20 years later, the majority of my life having to continue to fight for justice and accountability when it comes to the murder of my father and countless others.
We now know over a dozen kingdom officials, the FBI now says over a dozen kingdom officials were here in the United States for 18 months prior to 9/11 supporting the hijackers, over a dozen, one of which was a Saudi intelligence operative. I try to stick to what the FBI says. I try to stick to the facts. because they can't challenge us on the facts. It's the only thing we can do. We have to get the narrative right. We have to educate America, and we have to educate the public. And if we do that, we may appeal to some of the conscience of these golfers, to the vendors, to anyone doing business with the Saudi Gulf League. We need to tell them what we know about the kingdom and what the kingdom did to our loved ones. We're standing here in the backyard of where 750 people were turned to dust. And the reason we're doing that is because we need to speak out about what the kingdom did. And the fact that there's a golf tournament 3 miles away, funded by the very people that are now currently standing trial in federal court in Manhattan, that's a failure on us, and that's a failure on the media to get that point out. And we want to articulate those points today. So